Caryn Ceolin joins us. You were doing a story, we showed it a little while ago. What is your gut on this and how this is all rolling out?
Well, Cynthia, if you'll recall, the federal NDP agreed to prop up the Trudeau Liberals, right, in exchange for advancing their legislative priorities, including pharmacare. And so now that this deadline is approaching on March 1st, the Trudeau government has a decision to make. They can introduce this legislation, or they can risk losing Singh's support.
Which I don't think that they would want to risk right now, given the polls.
That's just it. Like, I think the political reality at this very moment is that neither the minority Liberals nor the NDP have anything to gain by sending voters to the ballot box early, right? Like, you've seen the polls, I've seen the polls. They don't favor either party.
No, Pierre Poilievre is doing very well in the polls. Jagmeet Singh and Justin Trudeau, not so much.
Exactly. So, you know, the position that Jagmeet Singh took today was that he's not prepared to trigger an early election should that deadline be missed next week.
Okay.
It was kind of very interesting because he stood at that podium wanting to send this very defiant message to Justin Trudeau over the NDP's pharmacare demands, including fully funding diabetes medication, as was mentioned in my report earlier.
Yes.
But he's not willing to let the government fall, right?
Right. So there's a lot of politicking going on behind the scenes.
Exactly. And I asked him, how do you sort of circle or square that circle for NDP supporters who have seen you as the leader who has kept the minority Liberals in power? Have a listen to what he had to say.
Okay.
If the Liberals break this element of the agreement, then the agreement should be broken. That's what's going to happen. The agreement will be broken by the Liberals, and we will then walk away from it. And the government knows that. They're worried about that, and they should be. No, we're not going to presuppose a confidence vote. We're not going to presuppose a vote on the budget now. But what we're saying is that we'll go vote to vote. The agreement before indicated guaranteed support. That will no longer be there.
So he's threatening the government, but he's not saying he'll topple it right away. So this could be a really interesting phase in Canadian politics for the next while.
Yes and no, because I think by Singh's own estimation, we're going to revert back to just this normal minority government setting where the Trudeau Liberals are going to have to seek support on a case-by-case basis. And as Singh says, the NDP are going to evaluate each vote individually. Just because the NDP pulls out of this pact, if the deadline is missed, that doesn't necessarily mean the NDP are going to start voting with Conservatives on confidence measures, right? So I think we might revert back to this sort of unofficial agreement the two parties had prior to the pact being signed, and Singh's going to get to have it both ways. He's going to be able to walk away from the pact over government inaction, but not trigger an election that his party is really in no position to call.
Interesting. Just for people who don't know, what's the price tag? What are they talking about on how much this would cost Canadians?
Right now, we're looking at about $40 billion over 4 years. Of course, the government has said there might not be room for it. So where that leaves Singh and his party remains to be seen.
All right, Caryn Ceolin, thank you very much.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Interesting times.